Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, welcome back to the channel. And welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. In today's video, we are going to be going over probably the best Freeware aircraft there is, and it is the FlyByWire Airbus A380. Now, as I just said, Freeware. This plane is completely free to users. You don't have to spend $30, $40, $50, $80 for this plane like you do with some of the others available. So let's go around, let's take a walk around the outside, let's go ahead inside and take it up in the air. We'll fly it around, we'll do a traffic pattern over here at Sacramento Mather Airport and give my overall thoughts, opinions, what's good, what's bad, what I think should be changed. So, starting to walk around the aircraft, it is very, very, very highly detailed. One thing to note about this particular add-on is it is very, very demanding on your system. The 4K and some 8K, because this thing does have two installations available. 4K or 8K, the resolution can be a bit of a hindrance on your system if you were running a lower end computer. They do offer the 4K as kind of like the lower resolution, which is shown here, which is still vibrantly stunning. Here I have the Emirates livery that I downloaded from flightsim.to. When you get the aircraft at first, you'll only have one, which is like the fly-by-wire house colors, and then obviously people have gone ahead and repainted. They've put a bunch of different liveries for this plane. You got Emirates, Lufthansa, British Airways, basically all of the big names that have or still are flying the A380. So let's get up close and personal real quick. Let's just kind of take a look at the texturing and the details as you get closer to the aircraft. Like you can see, there's weather marks all in here. Looking at the tires, you can see the tires are very, very well. They're very, very well detailed. This gear, the front landing gear is all nicely detailed. Moving towards the back of the aircraft, you can see even the rat being deployed like that. Like that's pretty cool to see. We can get up close. You can see there's a little bit of a texture glitch right here. But number of times that people are using the rat, it's not that common. It's kind of like a broken shadow. Looking at the engines, you can see, wear and tear. It makes the plane look like it's used. This does have the Rolls-Royce Trent engines. That's what this is supposed to be textured off of. And you can see, just getting up close and personal here, how highly detailed everything is. And walking to the back of the aircraft, you can see more weathering there on all the flaps and the parts of the wing. You can even see markings over by where the windows are. Everything is very, very nicely detailed and laid out. And even coming up here, like you can see what looks to be like grime and dirt from flying the airplane. Even spots where you might have touched down before, like you can see. Everything is just all nicely detailed. So, without further ado, let's get ahead and step inside the cockpit. So here we are inside the A380 cockpit. Everything is off just because I have it all where we're stationed. There is no GPU, but everything is off. I just kind of wanted to go through and just show everything. Kind of a quick startup. It's no different than any other Airbus. You get everything going. Then if you had GPU, you would turn on your available GPU stuff. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to our handy dandy tablet here. So this comes with the A380, and it has all the fly-by-wire stuff that you want. So if you are doing a flight with SimBrief, you could import your SimBrief data, and it'll all go into here, and it'll all go into the aircraft as needed. So what we are going to be doing, because of the location of where I'm at, let me see if I can locate it here. I just need to set the aircraft as ready for takeoff. And now you can kind of just quickly glance at some of the stuff. Battery life, nope, that's not it, that's not it. Well, I guess I could Control E this thing. And eventually everything will come to life. So while this happens, let's go ahead and take a look at the interior here. The interior is very, very nicely laid out. You can see you have your upper and lower deck here. Everything is just looks beautiful. It's very true to Emirates, and obviously each textures you have, each livery you have will have their own unique cabin. Like this is truly Emirates. If we go, actually we take a look upstairs here. So we're just gonna phase through it and go through. Like you can tell, oh yeah, there's your luxurious Emirates suites that everyone talks about. Everything is so nicely detailed. Everything is so nicely modeled. It looks fantastic. But there is a couple little nuances here. Like, I don't know if it's just a specific livery, but this one, you can see there's a little oopsies. They missed some spots. But overall, everything is just amazing. So let's go ahead and jump back to the cockpit, and we will take a look around even more inside there. Alright, so I went ahead and got the aircraft all started up, and I got it lined up over here on runway 4 right at Sacramento Mather Airport. Let's take a quick look around the inside while everything is all powered up. So, traditional Airbus layout. There's a couple small things changed from the A320, A330. Slightly different autopilot panel. Down here we have a little bit more. Our FMS is slightly different, just slightly different design. If you have the AnyBuilds Airbus A350, you will see that the layout is actually pretty much the same, except this one's got 4 engines, obviously. Everything would be all pretty much identical in how everything runs. The one thing I do like about this particular aircraft, so if you do not have SimBrief at all, and you're still trying to use the standard EFB, for some reason, with this particular aircraft, and it also is the same with the A350. I've been told that the standard EFB does work with the A350, but I haven't figured it out yet. With this particular aircraft, if you do not have SimBrief and you're still using that default EFB, since it won't transfer all of your flight plans over here, and you have to manually insert everything, the nice thing about it, unlike the A350 or any of the other aircraft, is when you go to punch in all of your stuff on the FMS, you can use your actual keyboard for that. So instead of coming down here and clicking, each individual button, which you can still do, obviously, you can actually come up here and use your actual keyboard, which is really, really nice. So if we just say, I don't know, let's put in takeoff speeds. V1, we'll just put 150, and I'm using my keyboard, mind you. I don't know if the microphone can pick it up, but I'm actually aggressively clicking it just to show that you can punch in everything, and it makes it really, really simple instead of having to go down here and you click each individual piece. Coming down here to the throttle quadrant in the center console, everything is all nicely, neatly laid out. Most of the buttons do work. Some of them are inoperative. Like you can adjust all your lighting. There's your rudder trim, cockpit door if you want it locked or unlocked, flaps, speed brakes. Everything is here. There's your TCAS. This controls your messaging, like right in here. You can, if you have an error up here, you can control if there is anything going on, like if you need to clear a message or if you need to recall the last one, just to kind of see what's going on. See, like this button here doesn't work, but most of everything, all the important stuff works. So everything for your radios, your transponder, everything down there works as it should. Now, when it comes to taxiing and taking off, the taking off is not that bad. This plane handles itself very well. So one of the things that I do not like about this particular aircraft is when it comes to taxiing, it's very, how do I put it? Very, very slow in response to inputs of turning. So, for example, let's just disengage the parking brake. Now we're light enough, which should just start rolling forward, which it is. So, what happens is it takes a second. I'm already hard left. Now my controller's neutral. See how slow it is on the response? Now I'm hard right. Now I'm neutral. So that plays an important factor when it comes to taking off with this plane. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not. So let's go ahead and realign it back on the center line. And then I will set the parking brake and I will get this thing ready for takeoff. And we will do a traffic pattern to kind of show how it handles up in the air. So we just align this bad boy real quick. And I'm just being extra slow with the movements of my joystick, just to make sure that everything lines up the way it's supposed to and that it responds how I want it to respond. Set the parking brake. The thing that's nice about this is with the details of everything has a nice click. Thing has a very, very nice click there. The loudspeaker does not work, unfortunately, on this one like it does on the other Airbus aircraft. But every other button, like I said, all of the important data does work. RTO, there's your auto brake, anti-skid, everything here for, like I said, the autopilot panel, navigation. I can put it. So now if we just take a quick look outside the aircraft, with it being ready to go, just moving the flight controls. You see how nice everything looks. Look at this bad boy up in the air. Parking brake off. Let's get her going. it sounds good too. I like the sounds. You can see I'm going left on the rudder, and it goes right. I don't know what it is with this particular aircraft, but that's what it likes to do, and I'm not sure why.
V1.
And it does like to turn on the auto throttle for whatever reason. So let's turn that off. Let's get that gear up. We're about 10 degrees nose up. You can see the engines
don't sink.
For whatever
don't
reason,
sink.
decide to
don't
turn
sink.
themselves off.
Don't
even
sink.
with the auto throttle off.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
Didn't touch the throttle quadrant on my flight controls at all. It just does it on its own.
500.
Because we're not doing, we're doing a free flight with no navigation, and all the plane's losing its mind. It doesn't know what it wants to do. Let's go ahead and clear that message. Plane handles itself very well. You feel the weight of the aircraft. Feels very good to fly. Throttles are very responsive. Issue is here with this aircraft. Alright, now that we got the annoying buzzing noise turned off, let's go ahead and continue flying a little bit, manually flying this plane. Like I said, it handles itself very, very well. Like, just doing maneuvers like this. Flies beautifully. Let's go ahead and get ourselves lined up for our approach into Sacramento here, Mather. Going to hand fly this. No autopilot, no nothing. Just so you can get a generalist idea if you do like to hand fly a lot of the aircraft instead of just letting the autopilot do a lot of the work like some people do. Now, once you get the aircraft in the air, it feels really, really good to fly.
2,500.
It's very enjoyable. See Sacramento Executive down there, directly in front of us as we're turning. Add some flaps as we begin. We're just letting the plane idle. This plane flies so well, it has so much, you can get so much speed so quickly. slowing down enough. We'll drop the gear. Sound pack is very, very nice. You can hear everything. You can hear the aircraft respond to all your movements.
$1,000.
Full flaps. GPWS. You could customize. We'll go over everything in the tablet here once we're back on the ground.
$500. $400. $300. $200. $100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
The aircraft wants to go right. So one thing with this thing, that's my main complaint right there, is the responsiveness of the rudder. Responsiveness of the rudder and the tiller. It makes absolutely no sense that the aircraft does not respond when you want it to respond like that. Alright. Let's just just park it right here, put the parking brake on. Now let's go over to our tablet down here. Let's go over all of the things in here. So zoom in a little bit so you can see a little better. As I said earlier in the video, you can import all your SimBrief data. If you have SimBrief, you can put in weather information. So if you want to put in where you're currently at, which is KMHR. Oops. HR, you can get all of the pressures and everything there. If you're going for your destination, let's just put LAX. Again, you can put everything there, all your pin charts, everything that would pull up on your SimBrief would be here. Again, more SimBrief data. This is where you'd find all your dispatch information. That's everything over from there. Here on the ground, you can request everything. If you do have GSX, it does have incorporations with GSX as well, but this also does control all of the base game ground services. Over here is where you'll set your fuel. You can choose to do it realistically or not. You can use the slider and it'll tell you in kilograms how much it is. Same with payload. You can put payload in here, so like it says here, we're at max passengers and everything like that, and you can customize this accordingly. The only issue is right here, this system does not work with the default ground service for pushback and everything. This you will need. This works better with GSX. Next page, performance. This is mainly for your landing and things like that. more navigation charts. Then again, this is all from SimBrief. This would all be loaded into here. Same with this air traffic control page. If you have VATSIM on, this would all pop up in here. You can set up different failures, which is pretty cool. So if you want to experience the aircraft, you know, if you get an engine failure, it shows everything right here, and you can go through and it have all of these different types of failures that can be simulated, which is really cool. Checklists, you can go through and do all your checklists as needed. Right here, this is like all your lighting. This controls all the lighting for the interior. You have aircraft states, so there's presets. You can do cold and dark, which is how you normally would start. You can have it set to powered, ready for pushback, taxi, takeoff. You can do any of that. And then down here is where you have all of the other important settings, so like aircraft options. Everything right here is all selected. Again, with the GPWS, you can actually customize what callouts you want to hear, different sim options, how you want the barometer to be with the sim bridge connections, what seat you want control of without lighting. There's lighting, the throttle's detents, you can calibrate your throttle. Third-party options, so this has, again, your Navigraph, your SimBrief. You can do all your, see, again, I have it all turned off because I haven't bothered with it yet. But again, GSX is all here. And again, more settings that you can mess with. You can turn on your error reporting, so if something happens here and this crashes or whatever, you can mess with that. You can mess with the plane audio, everything like that, to your liking. Then the actual tablet itself, here's some settings you can play with. And then just, you know, general about. You can see what sim version you're on and everything like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it. Albeit a little sloppy, especially that landing. This will do it of the A380 by FlyByWire. Overall, this aircraft is an amazing piece of gear. A lot of the realism, you know, just the overall textures, the way the plane flies up when it's up in the air. Even, you know, I didn't really demonstrate autopilot, but it's all the same as any Airbus. Everything responds the way you'd want. Like I said, the only main issue I have is that rudder control. I don't know what it is, but specifically this plane is the only one that does it, where it has that weird, where it wants to veer right or veer left when you're barely putting input on your rudder, and then, you know, using the tiller. I even have it separated to try to negate some of that, but some of this, that's one thing I would like to see fixed in the future. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, comment down below what aircraft you want to see next. I plan on doing the IndyBuilds A350 here soon, as well as some other tutorials for those who are getting into the simulations, who are wanting to get into their first, you know, DLC aircraft. So, make sure you hit that subscribe button while you're at it. Hit that notification bell. Thanks so much for watching. We will see you on the next one.